are so grateful and so thankful to have you in Montrose. You are such a huge part of our community because the elderly are such a huge part of our community. It's such a great place to retire. I don't blame them. So why don't you
Yes.
tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we'll move on to what we can do to help you.
Okay. So I'm the director of the Area Agency on Aging, and we administer the Older Americans Act program. So we are funded by the state and federal government, provide supports and services to people over age 60. We serve a 6-county region: Montrose, Delta, Gunnison, Hinsdale, Urea, and San Miguel. It's a really big region, almost 10,000 square miles. But I just wake up every day just feeling so blessed that I get to do this work. It's very meaningful, and especially in times like this, it's very impactful.
Yes.
So I really enjoy it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And the impact and the meaningfulness, I think, is so rewarding, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit more about nowadays, especially in your area of expertise. I know there's a lot of needs. I know you've been doing an amazing job providing meals and the support that the homes needs, but tell me more about what we can do to help our elderly, especially that I heard that elderly abuse in these times is rising. So this is really scary to me. So tell me a little bit about what you know about that and how can we help on a day-to-day in our neighborhoods?
Okay. So, our elderly population is generally very trusting, much more so than people our age and younger are. But if somebody knocks on the door or calls them, or if a friend or a relative needs to borrow money or something from them, they're generally the first people to say, "Here, have anything I've got. I'm here for you." But we have seen a real increase in the past, I'd say 8 to 10 years, especially, of really elders that are being exploited. And there are so many scams out there, and they're very sophisticated scams. So a lot of people, I've almost fallen for it myself. I got a call a few months ago, supposedly from the Social Security office, saying there was a problem with my Social Security. And for a minute, I panicked, and I almost called the number, and I thought, oh my gosh, Eva, you know better than this.
It is so hard nowadays.
Our elders, especially those that live alone, they're just hungry for attention and somebody to talk to, and these scammers will talk to them.
Yeah.
And they have a way of just kind of ferreting out just enough information from these people to know where the trigger spots are, the sweet spots. What can I say to Mary that's going to make her trust me, so that by the end of this phone call, she's giving me her credit card information. And unfortunately, that kind of stuff is happening a lot more often. Yeah. And like I said, they are super sophisticated. So I always encourage people, Medicare, Social Security, the IRS, they will never, ever, ever call you and ask you for your account number or anything like that. It won't happen. So if somebody is trying to get that information, hang up. It's not rude, it's smart, just hang up. And unfortunately, a lot of exploitation, especially financial exploitation, happens within the family or within a close group of people that are close to that individual. And I always worry, especially in hard financial times, that's when our elders seem to be the most at risk, because the younger people in their lives are struggling financially, they're desperate, and they'll do really awful things to try and survive. Yeah. And, our elders, most of them are getting a guaranteed Social Security check, and some of them have pensions and that kind of thing. So, these younger people often know that grandma gets a Social Security check on the first of every month. I know I can borrow money from her.
I think it's also hard for them to understand that, yes, she gets a check every month, but that check is gone at the end of every month. Most of the time, there are medications, there are insurance purposes. There are so many things from, especially if they're in a home, that cost us through the roof. So really, oftentimes they want to think and help others, but they themselves have so many expenses that everybody's like, oh, grandma's set, so I'm okay taking money from grandma. And it's really, not only is it not okay, but really it's hard for them to be selfless. It's easy for them to be selfless, and for them to be selfish is nearly impossible, because all they can think about is this legacy that they've created, and the family, and of course they want to help them, but they sometimes don't understand how much it will impact them in the future. Even if it's not now, in the near future, they will be impacted.
Right.
So I agree with you. I feel so hopeless sometimes and helpless to not be able to help in that.
Yeah. Well, and many of the people that we work at the Area Agency on Aging, they make anywhere from $750 to $1,200 a month. And there are thousands and thousands of people in this region that are trying to survive on that. And for them to give up even $10 is just, I mean, it could mean the difference between being able to pay the electricity or have groceries that will last the whole month and not being able to.
Yep.
Just because anyone thinks that, grandma or my parents, they're pretty well fixed. She's got a nice home and a decent car. So, what's it going to hurt to lend me $50 or $100 once in a while? You would be surprised how many of these people are barely surviving.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you for shedding some light on that, because I think everyone needs to hear it. Everyone needs to know grandma will take care of you before she'll take care of herself. And
absolutely.
That is so hard. And I think you're right. You send a card or you deliver grocery once, and then you think that $50, you almost deserve it. And it's really important to stay away from that. And talking about cards and mailing, I know that our elderly love to receive cards. So Pure Kindness next week is focusing on that, and is really calling all of teenagers and young adults and children to make caring cards. And even the parents, just make caring cards. Email it to Pure Kindness. I have all the information on my page. It's erica@purekindness.net. They even have a special app you can scan it with, so it doesn't cost anything to scan it if you don't have a scanner. And that way, Erica can wear gloves, print it all, and mail it out to the community. And I really think this is going to help. So I'm hoping this is something that will bring a smile and warm a heart next week. So I'm really excited about it.
It's a beautiful thing to do. And our elders especially love to get mail. And, that's why they hang on to their junk mail. They got something in the mail. There was a reason to go to the mailbox. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So it's so cool that Pure Kindness is doing that. I think it's an amazing thing to do.
And then talking about generosity, just like Pure Kindness and what they do, I know that you have a few things that you need. You're all good for toilet paper for now.
Yeah, for now.
But I would like everybody to know that outside of the Region 10 office on 145 South Cascade here in Montrose, there is a donation box. And in that donation box, you can drop things like toilet paper, but cleaning supplies, I think you said?
Yeah, so bleach, disinfectant, Clorox wipes, alcohol, hand sanitizer, paper towel. The Hampton Inn was generous and donated a couple of cases of paper towel last week, or toilet paper last week, and that's been very helpful. But anything like that, we have elders calling every day. And we're trying really hard to keep them out of the grocery stores. That's not a safe place for them at this time. So we're encouraging them not to go to the stores themselves and to let us get some volunteers to do their shopping for them. All Points Transit can deliver it to them. We're putting together little care packages every day, and All Points is taking those out and delivering them. So that's been made possible through the generosity of people in our community. And I hope that will continue. I looked in my little box today and there's nothing in there. So, I'm hoping that people are just hunkered down for the weekend, but don't forget us. We're all of that stuff goes to our elders. Our conference room was full last week, and now it's empty except for the toilet paper.
Okay, so we need to get back on it. So one donation is fantastic. Thank you for everyone who donated before. But if you have not yet donated, please consider donating. And I know that many of us a few weeks ago just have some stockpile at home. The stores are restocking. Everything is available to us. And if you can spare a pack of anything, Clorox wipe or everything that Eva just mentioned, please just spare a pack. If all of us just do one pack, we can really make a difference. That's amazing.
Yeah, and the other thing we're collecting is masks, homemade masks we have 14 assisted living and nursing facilities in this region. And like the hospitals, they are in desperate need of those masks so that they can keep themselves safe, so that when they need to provide care to one of their residents, that both parties can be safe. So if you're one of those great seamstresses out there making masks, I really hope you'll consider making some that we can distribute to the care facilities as well.
Yes, and I think that's a great point. We all do need it, but I have seen many posts online saying, I'm a seamstress, I can do it. I can provide fabric, and I am just not a good seamstress, so I can't do that.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'm happy to provide fabric for sure. And anyone who needs fabric, let me know. And we would love to be able to have more. The homes definitely need it because they are the most at risk once they're exposed. And so many people can carry it and not knowing that they're getting other people sick. Great. Well, that was a lot of information. I really appreciate all this. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing in your own neighborhood and what can we do every day in our own neighborhood to make our elderly feel that they're not alone.
Well, tomorrow morning I'm baking cookies, and I'm going to take them out to my neighbors on the block. I live in a retirement community, so I work, and most of my neighbors don't, so I don't see them very often. But I'm going to bake cookies, and I'm going to take them around with just a little note on it that says, I'm here. Here's my phone number. Call me if you need anything at all. I would love to help support you during this time. And I think it's really important. I have a neighbor that I know really likes to sew and has done mending for me in the past. So I have a couple of things that need mended, and like you, I don't sew. So I'm gonna wash it up and take it over to her and ask her to mend those things for me if she feels like it. Because really, we all need to have a sense of purpose. And I think it's even more important for our elders, and especially those who live alone during this time. Call them. Just call once in a while and say, would it be okay if I just call and check on you every day and just see if there's anything you need? It just takes so little. And I can tell you, my phone is ringing off the hook at work every day of people that are just really scared and lonely at this time. And I think the rest of us who are still privileged enough to be able to come and go as we please and have jobs and have stable income and have a relationship with our families and be able to do things like Zoom cocktail hours and those kind of things. Our elders don't often have this kind of technology. So we have to find different ways to reach out to them. So I worry a lot about the social distancing thing. getting us to the point that we forget that there's other people out there. And I know that there are ways to reach them and show them a little bit of human kindness and compassion and still keep them safe. Just use some common sense, but don't forget them.
I was going to say, that's what's so important, is to make sure that you leave the cookies with the note at the door. Make sure there is your information to be contacted, so they know that they can reach out if they do feel lonely. Make sure it's wrapped and that you leave it outside, so there is no contact, no cross contamination. And so really be safe. And I like the use common sense. You'd be surprised on how not everybody has common sense, but really think about how just a note can make someone feel better. If you don't want to bake cookies, that's fine, but just a note can really make somebody's day. I truly believe that.
Yeah. And if you have older friends and neighbors in your circle, this is a great time to just reach out and give them a call and say, look, I made a big pot of chili. Would you like some? I'll bring it over. I'll leave it on the step. We're intelligent people. We know how to be safe and not cause any potential harm to somebody and still show some love.
I agree. Well, that was a lot of information. I really appreciate all of this. I also want everyone to know that feel free to also contact your local homes, because when I contacted Sunrise Creek, I believe it is called, they were so excited. My daughter is a tapper. And as I said on another video, I love to watch her tap so much. But right now I am so tapped out. Mommy, come watch me tap. And I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody else must be enjoying this. And I know that they have YouTube maybe, and they can watch other videos, but for them to receive a specific video from a little girl from Montrose who's letting them know you are not alone and show them a little tap routine, I'm really hoping it's going to make their day. And it's just so simple for us to do. It keeps her busy. She's super excited. She can't wait to make calls and see how everybody's doing, because the kids, they want that contact so badly. And we could pair them with people who are really lonely and don't have much of a family around here, or can't have visitors right now anyways. And yes, everybody called probably the first week, but as everybody's getting in routines, things are falling off too. Just like your donations were great last week, and now it's falling off. So everybody is dealing with their own thing, but you will be shocked on how doing something for one another really dropped anxiety for you, made you happy, makes you feel grateful, and really helps with stress. Helping others is one of the best, healthiest thing you can do for yourself.
Absolutely. And keep in mind that all of the facilities have technology like computers and Zoom and Alexa. And so if you're interested in doing something like Delphine is talking about doing, just contact an area nursing home or assisted living and say, my child plays the piano and would like to do a little Zoom recital or something like that. And it would bring so much joy to those people.
Awesome. Yes, I agree. I think it really helps. Well, amazing. We've got a list of things to do. Thank you for giving us purpose.
Thank you. And if anybody has any questions about what we do or knows of somebody that might need our services, don't hesitate to give us a call. My direct line is 765-3127. And we're here to help our seniors. We want them to be happy and healthy.
And I will add all the information and everything we talked about today as well in the little box with the description of the video, and in the comments below, they'll be able to do that. And I'll add the link as well to Region 10's website. You guys have great information on there too.
Yeah, and there is a resource directory on our website. It's region10.net. And if you go into senior services, there's a tab that will take you to the resources. And there's tons of information on there about all kinds of different resources for older adults.
Great. I wrote it all down. I'll put it all in the notes, and anybody will be able to keep watching this video and spread joy in the community.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you.
Me too. Thank you. This is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. You have a great weekend.
You too.